What do you know is true without evidence? What are you certain of, right down to your bones, without proof? Back when I was 10 there was a competition for school kids to write a treatment for an episode of Doctor Who, with the best one being developed into a full episode in the next series and the winner receiving a writing credit. I was a huge fan of DW at the time and the competition was actually run through schools, so my teacher made the entire class do it. But I was very excited. I began writing a story about the Doctor landing on a planet full of defective Cybermen, whose programming had gone awry and had been left on this asylum planet to rot. The Doctor lands there in response to a mysterious distress call from a woman and attempts to find and save her while avoiding the dangerous dysfunctional Cybermen and the looming threat of planetary destruction at the hands of the normal Cybermen. I finished my short treatment and gave it to my teacher to submit. Unfortunately, it turned out the competition was very strict about the formatting of submissions and mine was returned because I had used the wrong formatting in some way. It seemed like a weird reason. I was a bit disappointed and that was the end of that. But then, a year or two later, there was an episode of DW called Asylum of the Daleks, which seemed incredibly similar to my story except with Daleks. So incredibly, eerily similar in fact, that to this day I am absolutely convinced that Stephen Moffat saw my script and came up with a formatting excuse so that he could remove me from the competition, steal my story, change the bad guys and claim it as his own. I have zero evidence. I don't even still have the treatment I wrote, or any letter from the BBC about my submission, and yet I know in my bones that Stephen Moffat stole his script from 10 years old me. I believe you. The Truman Show was made to make me think the entire world watching my every move was a ridiculous notion, but I know better. I remember watching the episode where you watched that movie. My ex-boss used COVID as an excuse to make me redundant because I was the only member of his team to be hired by someone else and not him. Frick that guy forever. Lots of companies are using COVID to get away with all kinds of crap right now. Casey Anthony killed her daughter and her parents know it too. To me there's definitely evidence, but the justice system failed that poor baby, and to me, what's worse is last year she apparently said she wants another children. There's a travel agency that's been around in my town for as long as I can remember. I wholeheartedly believe it's a front for the mob. You better keep quiet or you'll be taking an unexpected trip. That a lot more famous actors than we realize are secretly the children of other famous actors from the previous generation. I call it the Hollywood bastard theory. A startling number of famous actors and musicians had rich or famous parents already connected in the industry. It seems the outsider making it big is more and more rare. If I'm stuck in traffic and switch lanes because the other lane looks like it will move faster, the lane I just switched from will automatically go faster. However, if you don't switch lanes your lane will still go slow. So go ahead and switch lanes. Even though it doesn't change your commute time, it speeds it up for the rest of us. Getting a name tattooed on your body is a curse both on you and the person whose name is on you for as long as you wear it. Tell that to my father who has his own name tattooed on his arm. I think he reversed the curse by doing that because of the amount of luck he's gotten in life. My cat is in a constant superposition of having recently eaten and being starved to death. At least, that's how she acts. Also, any of my feelings about myself can't contradict or disprove those no matter how hard you try. Cats are either extremely hungry or not at all. You can only find out by giving them food. That being sick with a bacterial infection as an infant and almost dying is the reason why I am never sick despite being a super unhealthy person. Not that it is something I believe to be true, but something that I often think about is the butterfly effect. Like little things I do during the day could affect the total outcome of my day. I watched Flight 93 go down. I would never share that in real life because it's freaking grim and no one would believe you. The geography of the reports are off. I saw it clear as day from Kent State's main campus, Ohio. I didn't know what I was seeing other than I remember thinking that plane is way too low. We had an aviation college so planes were common and too big and it's jerking around like how a toddler drives a Power Wheels truck. Continued on to class. You don't want to be late even at a liberal college. That I have felt love. I am really not sure if this is what others have felt and called love, but if it is not, I don't know what is. 1 in every 3 or 4 people is not capable of critical thinking. And I'm not making some kind of point about politics or anything. I mean those people are literally incapable of taking in information and synthesizing it with other information and coming to their own conclusions. They're basically robots programmed by whatever source is most convincing to them. Gut bacterial imbalance can change a person fundamentally, physically, mentally, emotionally. One day they're going to cure some impossibly vexing diseases and conditions when they figure out that it's all connected to what lives in your guts. McDonald's Coke hits different than any Coke I've ever had. That actual, proper snuff films exist. There's too much depravity and perversion in the world for that not to be the case. I'm really freaking lucky, but like in a subtle way, like if there's a 95% chance I'll get hurt doing something stupid, I'll come out unscathed. Sometimes I think there's a guardian angel watching over me, making sure I don't kill myself by being an idiot. You growth the tree could fall into a dumpster full of dongs and come out sucking his thumb. That Andy Dufresne was guilty in the Shawshank Redemption. It's never actually proven that he didn't kill his wife and her lover. We just have his word and a story made up by an inmate that wanted to be liked by Andy and his friends. Also, what are the chances that his wife and lover were murdered the same night that Andy was going to kill them himself, before he changed his mind? Whoa. Just realize that the entire story is narrated by Red, and Red really doesn't know whether Andy was guilty or not. Only Andy knows. Red just believes he's innocent. My sister ate the whole ice cream box without asking my parents. That 1-2 generations down the line, our use of technology will lead to extreme mental health issues. My brain feels deep fried from time to time, and I haven't seriously started using a smartphone before I was already an adult. I hate how much I use my phone. I sometimes daydream about going back to a flip phone without the ability to access social media. I'll scroll through social media for hours every day, telling myself you need to do something better with your time. You hate this? Just put the phone down and do something else. Haha, funny meme. I am essentially a good, decent person. I may not act this out successfully. It's the fact that I keep trying to act it out relentlessly that makes it true. We judge people based on their actions, but judge ourselves based on our intentions. That the funeral home by my house is run by some sort of criminal organization. I always see the same gangster looking guys hanging out in front of it smoking cigars and drinking beers. That Drogon is kinda brainwashing Daenerys in A Song of Ice and Fire, a Game of Thrones. He keeps giving her dreams, and convinced her to burn the masters at Astapor and take the Unsullied with fire and blood. The other dragons are freaking put during the scene, but he's perfectly calm. He was also staring her down the night before when she woke from her dream. The Valyrian Empire was built for the dragons. The dragons told the men what to do, empowered them with wisdom and magic, and built an empire of flame and lava and obsidian. And the eggs begged the Targaryens to hatch them. It's why they had their dragon dreams. It's why so many Targaryens looked to be reborn as a dragon and were driven mad. Aerion Brightflame thought he was a dragon trapped inside a man, and died drinking wildfire. Aerys the Mad King wanted to burn them all and be reborn as a dragon. Bela the Blessed would pray over his dragon egg to make it hatch. They heard a dragon's voice reaching into their thoughts, and some mistook them for their own thoughts. Dany had a miscarriage but wakes to only think of her eggs, and is found crawling toward them. And all of this can be explained logically, but I know in my bones that there's more going on here. All natural things are a part of a cycle. Everything that has ever existed is natural. Everything is part of a larger cycle. The universe is a cycle. The Big Bang is only a step in that cycle. Something came before. Lack of entropy will not be the end. Something will come after. Nature never makes just one of something. This has all likely happened elsewhere. There is probably 7 degrees of separation from everyone and a serial killer. That number is probably lower than 7. I'm from the same town as a very famous serial killer. Not hard to find, you're only 1 or 2 degrees away from one. My phone is listening to me. It's simply not a coincidence anymore how my targeted ads change directly related to and after a conversation. People say we are just more predictable than we think, but I mention something I haven't even thought about for years and there it is on Instagram. That there is other intelligent life in the universe. We may never encounter it, certainly not within any of our lifetimes, but it's out there somewhere. The universe is too goddamn big for us to be the only ones. We have hardly explored the ocean in its entirety on our own dang planet, so it's amazing to think what else could be out there in the universe. That the entire US mattress industry is a front for criminal organizations. Virtually every city has more mattress stores than it needs. When was the last time you bought a mattress? So then why does a city of 80,000 have like 7 separate mattress retail places within like 6 blocks? I know that love is never easy. Being with anyone for any extended period of time is hard and takes work from both partners. It doesn't matter how well you get along. If things are easy, someone is probably not speaking up about something. It has to do with both partners understanding this perspective, but also not enabling bad behavior simply by virtue of it be okay that it is hard sometimes. It's a careful balance. I've found in many of my relationships, if both parties are really seeking to understand the other one twice as hard as they are trying to be understood, then it all goes much smoother. Reddit supermods have the ability to give unlimited free awards on Reddit. This allows them to make certain opinions more visible and normalizes paying real money for Reddit images. They are giving out free coins to spend on awards. That gardening is the secret to happiness. Sounds super strange, especially coming from someone like myself, an ex-World of Warcraft gamer. I had kids, got busy with work, wanted out of the suburbs, got some land in the country, and started planting stuff. Years later I have what I call a food forest. I have replaced lawns with fruit trees, bushes, vines, flowers, all woven together to mimic a natural forest. Except everything in it is edible. It has changed my life completely. I just think there's something about being outside in the sun, feet on soil, hands in dirt, planting crap, watching it grow in the background of your life, going out and checking on it and watching how much bigger it is getting, watching life find it, and now you get to live with the natural world, not isolated from it. Birds making nests in your trees, frogs making home in your ponds, seeing bees all around your flowers, butterflies everywhere, rabbits and squirrels moving in, then owls moving in to eat those. It's this wonderful trophic cascade that you started, and it's incredibly rewarding. Plus, being able to just walk outside and get chemical-free nutrient-rich dinner is amazing. You can see my food forests in my post history if anyone is interested in seeing what I'm doing. I actually think a big reason depression is such a big thing these days is because we have all become so disconnected from the life that we evolved in for the last 6 million years. We evolved walking around savannas and forests, pulling food off bushes and trees, out in the sun, feet in the soil, hands in the dirt. We couldn't be further from that, living inside our isolated homes, cars and offices. It's no wonder we're all so depressed. I think gardening is the secret to happiness. Saving this comment for further study. 100 years from now only a handful of kids and grandkids will have any memory of my life. 200 years from now, at most I'll be a photo in an old family scrapbook with my name in the margin space. 300 years from now no one in my family will know I existed outside of a half-finished family tree. Yet ultimately all of their hopes and pains, successes and failures, dreams and depressions will be the direct result of my having existed. So it isn't that bad. Dang dog, this hit different. I have a bull's job. Despite many colleagues telling me that I'm irreplaceable and integral, my job wouldn't exist if the system, company, worked correctly. Obviously I have no proof of this, because I can't see what happens if all the systemic problems that my bull's job manages are fixed. They're, also part of the system. But I know, deep in my bones, that my position shouldn't need to exist. People with lower IQs are happier because they aren't constantly overthinking, looking for self-transcendence, analyzing everything around them, and expecting too much of themselves. My phone is listening to me and targeting ads. I will have a conversation with someone about something totally random such as vacations in Sicily and then ads for it start appearing within a few hours. I know the coronavirus is going to last a long time and people who make expectations are just going to get disappointed over and over. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, Check another video. Bye for now.